When we first started homesteading, we never really thought about what should come first. We just started building, planting, raising animals, changing things, fixing things, and sometimes moving things if they didn't work out the way we had hoped. But after more than 35 years of homesteading, I can look back and see the things that saved us money, the things that helped our half-acre homestead work better, and the things that I wish I would have done sooner. So if I had to start our homestead over today, these are the 10 things that I would do first, not to make it perfect, but to make our workflow better. The very first thing that I would do would be to define our long-term goals before I did anything on our land. No matter the size of the property, I would write down my homestead goals that I want right now, a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and anything that I might want in the future, as well as any dreams that I have. You don't need to write down every little project, just the things that are going to be permanent, like shelters. And ask yourself these questions. Do I want chickens? Do I want goats, pigs, a hay barn, a better root cellar? How about things like an orchard? These are things that aren't going to be moving. I truly believe that writing it down and actually thinking about it for even a week or two, maybe even a little bit more, that you can fit more on your small acreage. This is where it's really important to map things out and then actually walk through how you've mapped it out to see if it's going to work for your workflow. We didn't really do that. We just kind of stepped into it, and thankfully it worked out for us. But as I look back, had I written things down and done a rough sketch, things would have flowed better and we wouldn't have been changing things so often. And that brings us to the second most important thing after goals, at least to me, and that would be workflow and placement. Workflow is how you move through your homestead every single day, and placement is where the main pieces go. I would first think through the places that I'm going to visit multiple times a day, like maybe the goat barn where I'm milking twice a day. And also think about the things that I'm probably not going to need to be there every single day, such as the orchard. And one thing that I don't want to do, I don't want to be having a chicken coop on that end of the property, a pig pen up front, and the goat pen out back, because that's not good workflow. If I were to start over today, more than likely my property size and shape is going to be completely different. So I would kind of want to repeat the same workflow that I have here, but improve on it, of course. When I first come through the gate in the morning, my first stop is the pigs, then right next to that's the goats, then the chickens. And for any cleaning, I can just backtrack and the compost is right between them all. So this saves me a lot of steps in the long run. If we can save steps, we save energy and we save time. I would ask myself some simple questions like, is it easy to clean out the manure out of the animal's pen and get it to the compost pile? And then once it's ready, to the garden, because right now my garden's up front and my compost bin is in the back. It works, but it is more steps and more time. Early on, I learned that placement was critical when it comes to putting your buildings in the right place, but also allowing for some growth. Because a good example here is when we built our barn, and it's pretty small, we did allow for some growth. We had 2 goats in the beginning, and later we decided to get 3 goats. So we had enough room that we could build a lean-to and a shelter for them. And this is where it's really important to think about is, do you have enough room to add on later? Even if you can't afford to do it now, is there space for the future? Another thing that I would do would be change the placement of my garden. While it's really not that far from the house, if I had it closer, more than likely, I would probably visit it more often. We've got a outbuilding in between our home and our garden, so the garden's a little bit further away. And then our garden is right up on the road, so it generates a little bit extra heat from that road, which isn't necessarily good for the climate that we're in. Now, this will all depend on the type of space that I would be moving to, whether I would do the same thing or not, but I would definitely consider changing it, moving it closer to the home, and probably not on the road. Like I said in the beginning, when we first started homesteading, we had no idea what we were doing. We didn't map anything out and we didn't put our goals down on paper. And when I had a garden, I knew I had to have a compost pile, but I didn't really know where that compost pile should go. So I just stuck it right in the middle of the property. It wasn't convenient. It was an eyesore. And so then we decided to move it. And then we moved it once again because it still wasn't in the right spot. We moved it 4 times before we found the right spot for our property. So that's another thing. placement, and planning, and your workflow will all make things a lot easier. On a homestead, anything that you do over and over again needs to be as simple as possible. A good layout isn't going to save you work. What it's going to do is save you steps, which is going to save you time and energy. The third thing that I would do would be to pre-plan power and water. This is something that I would think through much better from the very beginning. It would be much easier to pre-plan these things before any buildings went in, the orchard went in, or any structures that you would have to trench around. That's one thing that we didn't do. We started to put in more lines and more power later, so we had more work. And to this day, we still don't have all the power and water outlets that we wished we had. This is something that I think you should think through thoroughly, such as the chicken coop. If I ever have to come out at night, having a light switch is really nice to be able to gather eggs and take care of the chickens. Also, if I want to have an automatic watering system, then I have to have water. The same thing with the goats. It's a lot easier with a light in the milking barn so that I can see what I'm doing. And one thing that we do regret when we put in our hay barn, we have no light out there. And light is valuable sometimes. With all that moving of the compost pile, and then when we finally found its final resting place, I had to haul buckets of water. So the next best thing was we had to run a line. We've added 5 lines on this part of our property since we actually added our first. So that goes to show that I want to make sure that I add plenty of water spigots all throughout the property. Something to think about, if you're going to have a greenhouse, it probably should have water just for the ease of it. And if you're going to heat it through the winter time, you probably should run some power to it. These are things that you need to take a step back and think about. Will I want power in the future? If not now, I need to make it easier that I can do it later. The fourth thing that I would do would be change the placement of our hay and feed storage area to where it made more sense for unloading as well as daily chores. It may not seem like a big deal, but after years of doing the work, you realize how much it actually matters. Before giving it its place, then I would ask myself a couple of questions. Is it easy to get a truck and trailer to where I can unload it? And then the other question would be, is it close enough to the animals to where I'm not making more work? Because there actually is 2 parts to hay, bringing it in and then taking it to the animals. Hay is heavy and hay is bulky, so why not make the work easier? Number 5 is something that we've thought about often, and that's a water catchment system. While we do have some, if we were to start all over again, we'd put in an underground water cistern. When it's underground, the good thing about it is it doesn't take up any ground space. And oftentimes you can have a pretty large tank. Also, the water stays cooler so you don't get the algae buildup like you do with these above ground tanks. The 6th thing is how I would plant my orchard. I would do it more in a high density planting. While we still have a lot of trees in this small amount of space, I planted originally all of my trees in rows. Had I staggered them, I would have been able to fit more trees in this small space. If we were to start all over again and it was a small acreage, this is where it's really important to stagger your trees, where you can fit 1/3 again of what I've already got in the same amount of space that you would be spacing regularly with rows. And also, I would be planting early because fruit trees take a little bit of time to get going. So by putting them in as early as you can, you get that return a lot sooner. If you want to learn more about workflow, placement, and small acreage homesteading, then check out our small acreage homesteading course right here. Number 7, I would prune my fruit trees shorter for easier maintenance. When we first started planting our fruit trees, we pruned them up tall so that we could get a truck back here. And today, as we're replacing the older fruit trees, we are keeping them pruned lower. With having lower trees, it's a lot easier to manage. It's a lot easier to thin them, to prune them, to spray them, and it's a lot easier to harvest. You're not climbing up on a ladder and moving that ladder around. And keeping them nice and small like this, you can actually plant more fruit trees in a smaller amount of space too. The 8th thing that I would do differently would be to build a larger, easier access root cellar. And this one is really big for me. When you first start homesteading, you focus on food production. the garden, the animals, the orchard. And once it starts producing a lot of food, that's when you realize that food storage is just as important as growing it. We do have a root cellar, but it is quite small and it has a ladder access. And I am completely thankful for that. But as I look back, if we would have had a stairway going down into it, that would have been easier for us to haul things in and out. When you're carrying heavy bushels of onions, potatoes, and jars up and down, access is going to matter. Because our root cellar is quite small, we have our winter storage in several other places. So if I were to start over, I would think about storage much earlier. And I would plan for more space than I ever thought that I could use up, because you always fill it up. The ninth thing that I would do differently would be to make my garden paths wider. My paths are only 18 inches, so if I want to bring a wheelbarrow in here, I really can't get it down the rows without it being difficult. So I have to haul all of my garden debris and my compost in and out of the garden with buckets. The other thing is, during the summertime, my garden turns into a jungle and things start to creep into that pathway, so it makes it hard to get down the rows. So I would definitely make my paths at least 24 inches, maybe even 36 inches wide, so that I had easy access with a wheelbarrow. The 10th thing that I would do would be putting in sturdy fencing as soon as I possibly could. When we first started homesteading, we put in utility fencing all over the place. But now, as it's been here for several years, we've been replacing it. So if I could put in good fencing from the beginning, we wouldn't have to be redoing it now. If I were to start all over today, I know that I couldn't do all of these things. It wouldn't fit into our budget. But the one thing that I do know is I could make my long-term goals and take it one step at a time. I would have everything mapped out and start with what mattered the most to me, and that would be a garden and a root cellar. And because I have a plan, I know what would come next and where it would go. When we first started homesteading, we didn't have a plan, and we definitely didn't have a workflow. But God willing, it all worked out. I hope some of these ideas will help you if you're thinking about homesteading, just getting started, or even starting over. Have a great day, a better tomorrow, and may God bless you.